Let me introduce myself properly. I am Iana Ma'at, and I am half of that dynamic duo that consists of me and my husband. Why are we dynamic? Because I say so. Because I believe it, and I'm saying it. And we really are about making sure that we share not only from our own personal experiences, our own lived experiences, but from what the research says, from what folks we have worked with over the years have shown us about how to have a healthy, successful relationship. And tonight's not going to be any different. We're going to do that same thing. I'm going to do that as I sit in the gap for my husband tonight. But I ain't sitting in the gap for him. This is something I want to talk about by myself because I am seeing this dynamic, and I'm talking to and about women tonight, but this does not just hit women. It hits everybody. It hits men, it hits everybody. And this is really about our heart. We're going to talk about our hearts tonight. Somebody type heart in the chat. We're going to talk about gut and intuition when it comes to relationships. And we're going to talk about when you heal your heart and when you trust your gut, your relationship follows, your marriage follows, everything follows. And so many of us are trying to get tips and tools and strategies and techniques and tricks to be able to have the conversation more effectively or to do what we need to do, but we are not willing to get still, to be by ourselves, to get alone. Being lonely and alone are two different things, y'all. To get alone intentionally and on purpose so that we can hear from God. Whatever that is for you, God, the Most High, Spirit, Universe, whatever it is for you, so that we actually can get more in touch with ourselves. You know, so many times we are looking outside of ourselves for answers that only you have, only you got the answer. And so many times we're looking for a coach, a counselor, a pastor, your friend, the relationship guru to give us the answer. And everything you need is within. That is something that I know, not because somebody told me, because I heard about it, but because I have experienced and lived it. And so many of us discount our own feelings. Some of y'all just this week, y'all dealing with stuff in your relationships and everything that, I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about our marriages and our love lives, but this can be transferred to your relationship with your mama. It can be transferred to your relationship with your cousin and them. It can be transferred anywhere. So understand that a lot of this stuff transfers and connects anywhere. But you're going through stuff and you keep sitting in the same space. Oftentimes you sitting in the same space. You stuck. And why are you stuck? You're stuck because you're not willing to heal from the inside out. You're trying to fix your situation from the outside in. And you never get to intuition. You never get to gut. You never get to what's going on inside of you. So you can never get to resolve, to relief, to not being in the same funky ass place in your relationship. So tonight I want to talk about this a little more deeply. Let me pull up my points. Again, I am Iana Ma'at. I'm half of the dynamic duo behind Black Love and Marriage. I'm also the creator of The Art of Overcoming, a community dedicated solely to women who are trying to rediscover their purpose and get in alignment with what God would have for them in their relationships and in their lives. And my passion is really about helping people get to clarity, cultivate courage, do it afraid, have the conversations, go into the places that we don't want to go into so that we can have what we really desire. Most of the time when we are struggling in our relationships, y'all, most of the time, it is self-made. It's like we doing it to ourselves, self-made. I don't even know if that really makes sense, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. We are doing it to ourselves. And so this is a common struggle, feeling stuck in your love life, feeling stuck in your marriage. And people oftentimes feel confused. I hear folks come to me a lot and they always say, I'm confused. I don't really know. They tell me all the things. And they say, I'm just confused. I don't know what the next step should be. I'm confused. Now let's just park right here for a second. And I want y'all to be in agreement with me, even if you don't know what I'm talking about. There is no such thing as confusion. Just chew on that for a moment. There is no such thing as confusion. I'm trying to pull up this definition that I always love to pull up about confusion. And these look, my glasses starting to get on my nerves. So let me take them off for a minute. There's no such thing as confusion. Let me tell y'all why. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see. Okay, so I love this commentary that Iyanla Van Zant, y'all know about Iyanla Van Zant, that she talks about, where she talks about confusion. Confusion is an experience of having the brain shut down. There is a barrage of information coming at you, perhaps a lot of feelings coming at you, and you can't figure out what is real from what is unreal. The natural response is a perceived experience of not knowing what to do. Did y'all catch that? The natural response is a perceived experience of not knowing what to do. Well, that's impossible because you always know what to do. And she goes on to say, you always know what to do because you have a divine connection to the one mind that knows everything. Confusion, if you don't listen to nothing else tonight, this might be your only thing you needed to hear tonight. Somebody, all my note takers, write this one down, Courtney. What's up, left hand girl? All of y'all, write this one down. Confusion is about the mental and emotional outgrowth of knowing exactly what to do, and having this knowledge clouded by the belief that you are not good enough or smart enough to do it. This is also complicated by the fear that if you do it, you might not do it right. Or that if you do it the way it needs to be done, somebody gonna get mad at you, somebody gonna get hurt, and we don't want to deal with that. So I want you to really just let that thing sink in. I want you to let that sink in. I'm glad I found that. Confusion is an illusion. But so many of us say that we're confused in our marriages and our relationships. We don't know what to do. We're still dealing with this dynamic, right? You know what to do. And what I like to do is I like to tell people all the time, you can get clear. You can get clear. And just because you get clear doesn't mean you have to take the next step 30 minutes after you got clear. You don't got to do something tomorrow just because you got clear. I think sometimes we stay confused because if we get fully clear, then we start to feel ashamed of the fact that I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what's happening. What's up, Ronique? I know what's happening and I know exactly what I need to do, but I don't know if I'm ready to do that. So then we feel bad about that. And so it's easier to say I'm confused than to say, I know what's up, but I'm not ready I'm not about to be leaving though. I'm not about to be doing that. It's more complicated than that. I got a whole lot of dynamics that I'm navigating. I'm not about to have this conversation with him. I'm not about to say this to her because I don't want to deal with that energy. I don't know if my kids are going to be impacted. So I'd rather just keep that close to the chest. There's all kinds of things that prevent us from getting clear. They are fears most of the time, but I would rather you get clear and stop pretending you're confused. I'd rather you get clear. And then we can look at what's preventing you from moving in alignment with that clarity. And we can pay attention to that and we can start working through that. You can start working through that, but you don't have to stay confused. So there are 3 missteps that keep us stuck. What's up, Michael? There are 3 missteps that keep us stuck in our marriages and our relationships. And we don't recognize oftentimes, y'all, that we are participating in this thing. We are just doing a whole lot. You know what? I don't know if my husband is listening, but I see some people sending messages. I think we done sent out the wrong link to some Blamely members. That's why some of them ain't in here and they like, what's going on? So I'm just letting you know if you're listening, solve that issue if you can. But I got to keep going. All right, y'all. So there are 3 missteps that keep us stuck. Okay. So for some of y'all might be like, oh, I don't want to hear that. But I'm going to tell you what I know to be the truth. The first misstep, the first one, when we find that we're stuck in our relationships in a particular area with a particular pattern, maybe emotional disconnect, we just don't be feeling each other, got a roommate marriage, we do life well, we be making sure the kids are straight, but we don't really be spending time, we don't really hang out, and I don't really mess with him for real. I don't like him. I don't like her. Whatever it is. Whatever the situation is, infidelity, all kinds of things. We don't ask God for any direction. I had to look at myself a while back and say, dang, I've been making plans out here. I've been putting together whole charts of executing certain things. I ain't asked God nothing. I ain't say, God, give me a sign. I ain't say, Holy Ghost, let me know if this is right. Whatever your beliefs are, what I believe is that there is a higher being that will always meet us where we are. This is something really, 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 really good that I Me and some of the women in Art of Overcoming, were reading and we came across this piece. You can never really make a wrong choice because God will meet you right where you are. God will meet you right where you are. And you can't really get off track fully for real, because as long as you stay open to what God is trying to do and what God is saying, even if you make the wrong choice, you will be able to get back in alignment with where you need to go, because you can't even keep yourself from where God is trying to take you. You can't even prevent that. You don't have that much power. God is always in control, and God can do more with your surrender than you can do with your control. So if we really realize that, then we should be asking the question, God, what do you have for me in this? Why is this coming up right now for me in my life, in my relationship? What do you want me to learn? You can even ask it sometime with a little attitude, like, what you want me to learn? Some of y'all don't subscribe to that, but it's okay. God is not offended by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm supposed to be getting out of this, man? We don't even ask. So when we don't do that, we miss the opportunity to align with God's wisdom. We start to act on our assumptions. We assume what our partner means or didn't mean, or what they try and do or not do. We assign meaning to things. This leads to more fake ass confusion. Fake confusion, because we already established that confusion is not a real thing. And we find ourselves continuing to be stuck. Heal your heart, trust your gut. Your heart cannot be opened up properly without inviting spirit in, without inviting God in. So that's the first misstep, y'all. The second thing that we oftentimes are doing, and we don't even know it, is that we avoid discomfort. Some of y'all out here, y'all do not like to be uncomfortable. I'm like one of them people, like, if we go somewhere, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but I got to keep a fan. I got a fan right here. Look. Oh my goodness. I got to keep a fan. And I'm not even in no menopause or nothing. I thought I was. The doctor said, no, I don't see no menopause situation. I said, well, damn, what the hell? I know one thing. I know I'm hotter. I keeps a fan, because if I get hot, I'm gonna have an attitude. Anybody know what I'm talking about? The attitude. I'm gonna be like, boy, like, I cannot stand here. What is going on? Matter of fact, this is good right here. I'm gonna keep this going for a minute. You know what I mean? So many of us, when it comes to our emotional issues, the things that are happening in our relationship, we do not want to go beyond a surface level understanding. We are so conditioned that the moment we are challenged to look at ourselves or look at our situation differently, or our partner says something that that kind of hit me a little bit, because there's really some truth to that, right? We back out. We avoid discomfort. We have to grow our tolerance for being uncomfortable. I know some of y'all have heard the saying, if you're comfortable, you ain't growing. So many people come to me and they say, I just don't know what's going on with us. I'm just wondering if we're meant to be, because it shouldn't be this hard. Oh my Lord. Anybody ever said that before? It shouldn't be this hard. And my question is, why not? Why not? Why are you so special that it shouldn't be hard? You know what I'm saying? Like, we come into the world to really get into a place where we can evolve into our best and highest selves, which means we have to grow, which means we have to be birthed and rebirthed over and over again. And we have to have growing pains. And some of us don't want no pain. But until you are willing to address your childhood patterns, until you recognize you got a pattern that's showing up right here, right now, today in your relationship, not just with your partner, but with everybody around you, you're going to stay feeling like you're not being heard and seen, and you're not getting your needs met. Many of you are looking for your spouse. You're looking for your wife, your husband, whoever it is, to meet needs for you that you need to meet for yourself. You don't feel good about yourself. You feel unimportant. You feel unheard and unseen in general. And so they might do some things and show up some ways that are not the best, but it's times 10 for you, it's times 20 for you, because that's already hitting an unmet need inside of you. If you understand what I'm saying, I need y'all to talk back to me. Don't just look at me. I need y'all to put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat. And so if that's going on and there's no awareness of that, or you might be aware, but there's no accountability for you and what you need to do, then you just put it on your partner. You put it on your partner. It's like something is wrong with this relationship, right? We are avoiding discomfort. We are avoiding growth. We are unwilling to step into new territory. For many folks, setting a boundary is new territory. We like, what is that? I be talking about boundaries and I heard about it, but I don't really know how to do that. No, you know how to do it. There's that confusion thing again. Because a boundary that we just say, this is not okay, this is not acceptable, this doesn't work for me, no longer is a boundary if there is not a natural consequence that comes behind it if somebody violates your boundary. Oh my goodness, did y'all catch that? I hope y'all caught that. Let me let somebody else in here in this room. It's not a boundary if you just say it, but there's no consequence if somebody violates it. The only way the boundary can truly be violated is if you first violate the boundaries that you have with yourself. And so you've got to ask yourself, if I say that it's not okay for you to talk to me this way, I love you, you love me, but you be popping off and getting real tight and your tone be raising and all of that. And I say, that's not okay, but you keep doing it. And I keep saying you're doing it, stop doing that. But that's not setting a boundary. I'm making you aware that you're doing it. That's not setting a boundary. Let me tell you, some of y'all have heard me say this before. My husband set a boundary with me because it wasn't that I was trying to go on him. It wasn't that I was trying to disrespect him, but I'm a pretty passionate person. I'm a Leo. And I had some habits that weren't very helpful. And my husband told me a long time ago, he said, look, when you're talking to me and you start to get that little edge on and your voice starts to elevate, that doesn't work for me. Now, first of all, I had to, it took me a while. I was like debating him on that. Like, it ain't really no edge. And don't nobody else have a problem with it. And it's just really just your issue. Are you just too sensitive? If any of y'all are doing that, cut it out. Cut it out and stop doing that. Okay. Whatever your spouse or partner is saying to you about how they're experiencing you is not up for discussion in terms of what their experience is. Now you can say, hey, is there a way I can move differently? Can I do this instead of that? But people's experiences are their experiences. So I had to get to a place where I could acknowledge that. And then my husband, even though I acknowledge it, anybody tell somebody something and then they be like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And then they still don't change. They still be doing the same thing. You be like, didn't we go over this? I be talking, I told you this and you still doing it. I know I'm not the only one. But in this example, because many of the things that we do, our patterns and so forth, the places where we need to grow require us to really show up and for real grow, for real stretch. I was like, I hear you, but I wasn't really focused on trying to do something different. And so my husband let me know, when you start to raise your voice and you start to do all that, I'm gonna have to exit. I'm gonna have to leave a room. So I just want you to know that, like, I've talked to you about this and it doesn't work for me. Somebody need to write that down. That need to be your soul note for tonight. It doesn't work for me. Some of y'all just need to say that. And you never said it. And so he let me know I'm gonna have to exit the room. And so long story short, we were in one of our conversations one day. I guess I was getting a little elevated. I didn't realize it. I realized it as soon as he exited the room. And once he did that a few times, guess what? Guess who learned? Let me work on my tone. Let me work on my energy. Let me work on my edge. Oh my goodness. And when I tell you, for some of y'all, that is a lot, right? For me, it was a whole lot. It's a lot of work to work on that. But many of us are not willing to do what we need to do. And so waiting for somebody else to change, waiting for your partner to move, to do different without looking at yourself and looking at your own mindset, looking at your own actions, your lack of action, independent of your partner, right? Independent of your partner. That's what you got to do. When you don't do that, you're going to stay stuck. But in order to do that genuinely, you have to be willing to heal your heart. You got to be willing to let God in. You got to be willing to grow. And there is something that I just have to say. I just got to do a little sidebar PSA right now. There are so many women who are misinterpreting what it means to do the work. Somebody type do the work. Do the work. Oh my goodness. People be coming into our community and coming to work with us. And they be like, I'm here. I'm ready to do the work. I'm doing the work, doing the work. Y'all misinterpreting this thing. Y'all won't really understand what it means to do the work. I need somebody to type do the work. Some of you, and again, I said I'm talking to women tonight, but this applies to anybody at the sound of my voice. If it hits, it hits. So let me just say this. Some people work hard to improve themselves Oh, but you fall into the trap of over accommodating your partner. You fall into the trap of ignoring red flags, not paying attention to what's really happening in your relationship. You fall into the trap of dismissing your own needs in the name of flexibility. And I've said this before. Sometimes I get concerned for some people because most people are pretty self-absorbed. Even us evolved folk, we're pretty self-absorbed. Us adults, we kind of like kids. So most of us need to learn how to be more flexible. We need to learn how to make room for our partner. We need to learn how to address things and to ask for what we need. But there are many folks and a lot of women, a whole lot of women who be out here over accommodating and falling into the trap of dismissing their own needs. That's not doing the work. Oh, I said it. That's not doing the work. Sometimes for some folks, doing the work means that you need to get firm about your expectations. You need to be clear about your expectations. You need to be able to share them unapologetically, gently, but unapologetically. You need to be able to have good boundaries between your own feelings and your partner's feelings. Some of us are so connected that we're a bit enmeshed and we know how he feels and we know it's hard for him and he going through this, he going through that, and that's fine. But that's his work to do. Even if you his wife, that's his work to do. You got your own work to do. And you need to be able to distinguish between that so that you can make sure that you are actually taking care of yourself and you're really doing the work. So many people are stuck because they stay in that place of over accommodating. You know what I'm trying to say? Over accommodating and being super flexible. And now they turn into some real unhealthy. And they can't figure out why I'm still stuck. I'm doing this and this and this. And he's still not. Because that doing your work and being in a relationship and committed to another partner is not about trying to figure out how to dismiss yourself, minimize yourself. Yes, we talk about the fact that you are coming together with another person, but it's a balance. It's one of those things where you have to be able to assert yourself and you have to know when to fall back. You have to know when you need to be soft and compassionate, and when you need to say, this is not okay, and be firm and clear. It is a science. It requires emotional intelligence. It requires seeking God's voice, and it requires getting still, and it requires having enough internal self-worth that you're able to receive other people's, namely your partner's feedback without feeling like it's a condemnation on you. Like, I don't appreciate that you did this, Iana. My husband should be able to say that to me. He told me, and he's told me plenty of times, you're not the best with receiving feedback. You usually are kind of defensive. And y'all know what I said? No, that's not, I don't think. I was being defensive, right? That's not true. And I heard myself, damn, you're doing it right now. But I had to have enough wherewithal about myself, enough internal self-esteem. That's my responsibility, not his, to make me feel better. That's my responsibility. I had to have enough of that in order to be able to receive that and know that I'm still okay, but I need to work on that. And so the path forward, y'all, is to heal your heart. That's the path forward. The path forward is to stop looking at your partner to meet needs or heal wounds that are your responsibility. They're your responsibility to address. They're your responsibility to nurture. Stop looking for your partner to do that for you. It is unreasonable. It is a disservice to your relationship. This little piece, y'all see me keep doing this? This little piece of head getting on my damn nerves. I might have to, somebody bring me a clip or something. Lord, it's driving me crazy. Don't bother, don't look at me, y'all. But I'm telling you, I had to pause because I just keep messing with it. Let me get back into what I was saying. Sorry, y'all. My hair distracted me. But you got to stop. You got to stop looking to your partner to come solve the things, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You don't even realize you're doing it, but that's what you're doing, and you're wanting them to come make it better. And you really won't know that's what you're looking for until you examine the unmet emotional needs stemming from your childhood, right? Some of your family patterns. You'll never do that. And you'll never actually examine those things if you're not willing to become uncomfortable. And you'll never grow. And so we got to be willing to build confidence by looking at our own needs and practicing self-compassion and doing what we need to do for ourselves. And the second pathway, y'all, is to trust your gut. So many of us, I don't know why y'all do this. I'm not saying I ain't never done it, but I do think generally speaking, I think this is just my favor. I think it's my favor that I have really looked to self, but sometimes too much. But I really have started with self first before looking to like, well, what you think? Well, what you think? What you think? And so I think it's easier to get caught up in that dynamic in a relationship because, you all are in relationships. So you're trying to be considerate of one another. But some of us are doing that in a very unhealthy way where you're not willing to share your feelings or your thoughts independent of your partner sharing first. You don't want to share the fullness of what your experience is of what you're thinking because you don't want to hurt their feelings or you don't want to create more of an issue. And you are funneling your own experience of what y'all are dealing with through their experience, you know. I've had this happen many times where, okay, this is just a little example. This happens a lot where my husband and I, when we are coaching folks, we send out an assessment. And so the couple has to complete this assessment online. And when they complete the assessment, we get with them individually to talk about, the results of the assessment, like, individually. I get with the wife, he gets with the husband, right? And so, but this has happened a lot where when I'm reflecting back to them what the results of some parts of the assessment are, it's looking at like their conflict and some of your relationship history and how you all manage conflict and communication and sex and intimacy and all those things. And when I'm reflecting some things back to them and saying, is this accurate? They'd be like, oh no, I mean, no, that's not, no, that's not what I think. And I said, well, this is what you put on the assessment. And you know what happens? This happens a lot. What the sister will eventually say to me is, you know what? I think I was thinking that it was a problem because I think that my husband thinks it's a problem. So I probably was answering it from that perspective. What? Did y'all catch that? Because you begin thinking in a way where you're thinking with what you think your partner thinks and you bring that into your own being. It's one thing to take something into consideration, but it's another thing to understand. I know your perspective and your experience, but I'm very clear about my experience. And so that is telling for me that you're thinking with their thoughts. Isn't that something? But not your own. And so trusting our gut is really about trusting God. It's really about trusting that God's voice is guiding you. It's really about creating stillness in your life, separate and apart from your partner and everybody else. So whether that's journaling, prayer, meditation, whatever it is, so that you can get still and you can know what you feel. Feelings are never right or wrong. They just are what they are. And the more you practice getting in touch with you and where you are in your life and in your relationship, the more you'll be able to practice bringing that forward to your partner. Whatever their response is whatever it is. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You are responsible to making sure that your voice is heard. You know what I'm saying? You are responsible to sharing with sharing your feelings. It's such a disservice to be in a relationship with somebody. Some people married 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 years, and to never tell the full truth. Oh my goodness. To never tell the full truth because you are holding back for all of these varied reasons and never willing to honor your truth. You know what I'm saying? We don't, it's a disservice. I've seen people where somebody like, I'm ready, I'm divorcing, I'm done today. And that's their prerogative. But when I look back, oh my goodness, at their history, and I asked questions, I realized, you really never told the whole truth to your partner. So now they surprised, like, what? I knew we had some issues, but I didn't think it was like that. And you're like, well, I don't know why you didn't know. I know why, because you never fully told the truth. You didn't trust your gut, and you didn't trust that God would cover you and take care of you in that, because that's a scary thing to do for many of us. It's not just about feeling. Trusting our gut is not just about feeling. It's about aligning what you do, what you say, how you move with your values, with divine guidance and wisdom. So then you don't have to doubt. You don't have to be confused because you spend time with God. I am moving in the way that aligns with my heart and with what God is saying for me. I don't have to be confused. It ain't just about my feelings. It's about alignment. All right. So I want you all tonight to think about all of the things that came up for you as I talked to you about healing your heart, trusting your gut, I want you to stop waiting for external circumstances to change. We are in the latter part of December 2024. We're coming up on January, right? Next month, we'll be in a brand new year. You got to stop waiting for the external circumstances to change and decide to take ownership for your own healing. Your own healing, right? What have you been waiting for your partner to do? That's a question for you to take into some consideration tonight. What have you been waiting for your partner to do that you can start doing for yourself? Uh, 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 mm. What? Waiting for them. And you can start doing it for yourself. You can shift the focus to what is it that I can do for myself. I promise you that when you do that and when you start to move from that place, that everything else starts to get in alignment and fall into order after that. You can choose courage over comfort in 2025. Like, just claim that thing. I'm choosing courage over comfort. Growth is going to feel uncomfortable. We're not going to want to have these conversations. And you need to have compassion for yourself. If it was never modeled for you, you don't even know how to do it. It creates such a huge anxiety. But guess what? Discomfort is a sign of transformation. If you're comfortable and miserable, what is the point of that? But it's a whole lot of people. Some of y'all, a lot of y'all people, some people on here tonight, you're going to stay comfortable and miserable for the rest of your life because you value comfort over the risk that it takes to just open your mouth or to not open your mouth when you really want to, or to stretch and grow in a particular way. You value that. So you got to be willing to set boundaries and have those hard conversations that are necessary for your well-being. So I want you to take the first step tonight, y'all. I'm getting ready to come to a close. This is just giving me, just as I'm talking about this, it's just giving me, what's the word I want to use? It's just confirmation. I feel like there's just confirmation. I want you to type a C in the chat. If there's anything that I've said tonight that's been confirmation for you, it's giving me confirmation that I'm on the right path, because I know that there are so many women. Type a C. This ain't a C, but this is a C. Type a C in the chat if there's been any level of confirmation for you tonight. There's so many of us that really need to commit to asking God, what do you want for my relationship? What do you want for my relationship? We just need to start there. Right? We need to really pay attention to identifying what is it that I've been avoiding doing because it's uncomfortable. It's scary. And you just need to address it. And we keep looking at things like, okay, tell me how to communicate better so that I can have this step 1, step 2, step 3. That stuff is good. You know, we can give that to you all day. But until and unless you open up your heart, until and unless you start to ask yourself, what is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I need to do? Where is it that I need to grow? What conversation do I need to have? Until and unless you start doing that, you're not going to have the courage and the confidence internally to take these steps. You're going to be looking for your partner to give you a sign that they're on the right page with you or whatever, or you're going to be looking for someone else to tell you what to do versus looking to yourself. Trust your gut, trust your gut, trust your gut, trust God, open up your heart. And when you do that, I promise you, that will get you unstuck. That is the real reason why so many people are stuck in their relationships, because they are externalizing, which means I'm looking outside of myself and to my partner. They are deflecting and pushing things out to whatever the circumstance or the situation is. They are numbing themselves and dismissing it and just moving on and saying things like, I'm just going to focus on me. Now, y'all probably like, wait a minute, y'all thought you said focus on me. Well, focusing on you in such a way where you're really doing the heart check, you're tapping in with God, you're really paying attention to the places where you need to shift, looks a certain way. Just focusing on me and ignoring the dynamics in your relationship and not asking God, well, how am I supposed to respond to that? Not getting in proximity to other people who can help you to figure out, well, how do I navigate and deal with the fact that my husband is acting like this? Like, what do I do? It doesn't mean that you just tap out of your relationship. It means that you engage. It doesn't mean I'm gonna go over here and just focus on me and get all my little moments, but I'm just gonna act like I don't see that over there. No, it means you deal with your whole life. You understand what I'm saying? And so many of us are not doing that. You are not stuck because of your partner or your circumstances. I'm going to say that again. You are not stuck if you identify with the stuckness because of your partner or because of your circumstances. You are stuck because you're waiting for something outside of you to shift. And that is not the way forward. It is time to shift yourself and watch your entire world transform. I am a living witness. I shifted. I had a whole lot of stuff. That'd be a live stream for another day, another relationship Thursday for another day. I had a whole lot of stuff. And I still sometimes be like, I'm amazed at like how things started to shift and I didn't start having the same issues. I wasn't encountering the same kinds of things, but it was because I shifted on the inside. And some of those things just fell away. It just fell away because my mindset was different. And I was different. I was different. So I hope y'all that this has been of help to y'all tonight, that you understand that this relationship works. Sorry, Instagram. Let me do this. I know y'all like, what's going on? Uh-oh. Okay, am I back on Instagram? Hopefully. My oh Lord, my son calling on the phone. That's what happened. My son called. um, okay. I'm gonna have to call him back in a moment. Hey, it took me off what I'm trying to say. Oh, I just hope that you understand it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. There's this personal work that's so deep. And so let me just say this before I end. If anything that I have said has resonated with you and you know that there's a deeper level that you need to go to within yourself, and you're ready to stop looking on the outside and look within, I just want to encourage you to make a commitment to do that. And one of the things that I want to make you aware of is, especially for the women, I started out by saying that I am the co-founder of Black Love and Marriage. That's just, I'm on these channels on social media. Blamley is in the Zoom room. And so I'm a therapist and a coach. But one of the things that I have realized, and I realized this for some time, is that some of the women, many of the women who are coming to me in the context of their relationship, just as the men do too, but my husband can speak to the men. There is some individual work that needs to happen, some personal awareness that needs to happen, some deep connection into self and into God that needs to happen so that you can do what you need to do and show up the way that you need to show up in your relationship. So I want to encourage you, for any woman who is paying attention on tonight, and you're feeling this, you can go to the bio on Instagram or TikTok, right? My Blamely folks, y'all know how to get me. But you can schedule a clarity call with myself. It's a complimentary 15-minute clarity call because I want you to be able to do something different. And so if you are interested in talking with me about where you are in your relationship and some of our services, we provide coaching. I provide coaching for women alone, and my husband and I provide coaching for folks. And then I have next month, consider this an omen. Anybody read The Alchemist? Alchemist. If you ain't read it, you know what I'm talking about. You need to read that thing. That thing is good. But consider this an omen. They talk about omens a lot in The Alchemist. Next month, January 24th through the 27th, myself and several other women are going to the Smoky Mountains of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And we are going to retreat together. It is called the Divine Flow Retreat. I have 3 spots left. And I'm excited. And I know that God is doing a new thing in me and in this community of women who want to go deeper, to get unstuck, to not stay in a place of stagnation, that understand that change is incremental. You can go to the bio again on Instagram and on TikTok to be able to learn more about that retreat opportunity next month, January 24th to the 27th. And Blamley, of course, I can't even see who's on, but you can do the same thing. You could email me, right? Because we have 3 spots left, and it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a safe space. Everybody, continue to do your work. Show up for yourself and for your life. And as long as you do that, you will not go wrong. You will not go wrong. So thank you for coming out tonight. Be intentional. Go to the bio and check out how you can schedule a call if you're interested in learning more about the Divine Flow Retreat and also our services. And everybody, remember, if you shift yourself, you shift everything. Everything. Shift yourself, everything around you, and everything that is attached to you will shift as well. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.